Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Five Boys in a Business, a podcast where we talk about the business, the family, and the many shenanigans involved. You can catch us most Mondays around 11:30 to 12 or on any of the podcast channels where you consume podcasts. I'm Emily King.
I'm Richie King.
And we have Harrison King behind the ones and twos. He's about to join us on the couch today. Today is a very special episode.
Very special episode as we crouch
because
over.
We get to eat food.
As you can see on the table here, we have a collection of burgers.
Anybody that knows me knows I like food.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm super excited.
So today, so we're going to start off with the challenge.
We are tell everybody a little bit about how did this challenge get inspired anyway? We were talking about something. I can't remember what we were talking about. But...
So, I think a few episodes ago, we were talking about something. Oh, it was the Wahlburger, the Whataburger.
Oh yeah.
The Shake Shack.
The Wahlburger,
we came up with the lovely idea to rank burgers, but I was on a time crunch today, so I stopped and got fast food burgers. They're not the luxurious burgers.
So we're gonna do a separate something to look forward to. Luxurious burgers.
So here for everybody listening / watching, here's the burgers I got. And they're all just single cheeseburgers.
Right.
Okay, contestants.
Single cheeseburgers.
So I got a Steak and Shake steak burger. I got McDonald's single burger. I got a Wendy's single burger cheeseburger, a Dairy Queen cheeseburger, and a Burger King cheeseburger. We will be ranking these on presentation and taste.
Okay, can we guess what we think we're gonna like the best?
Yes, you can go ahead. You can try.
Which do you think you're gonna like the best?
Either Wendy's or Steak and Shake.
Okay, you are so this just is classic for picking something.
Yeah.
You have to commit. You have to pick one burger.
Wendy's.
Wendy's is gonna be your favorite.
Interesting.
What's gonna be your least favorite?
McDonald's.
Oh,
really?
wow.
Yeah, McDonald's is my favorite.
Okay, I would say my least favorite is for sure
It's so
probably going to be the Burger King.
Okay,
burger.
so actually I probably should have laid these out. I literally laid them out in a bunch of different orders. So
we need to eat them like we'll eat Wendy's.
So here's the thing. You have to pace yourself. You cannot eat the entire burger.
Yeah, I'm just taking a bite.
Okay,
I'm gonna try and eat all the 5 burgers.
No, I don't do that. Ugh.
We will not be seeing Mom tomorrow at workout. She'll be taking a
Duck in the bathroom.
a brief hiatus at home. Do not try and do that. Instead, try and just take a bite of each one.
I'll tell you a funny, quick Jared story. This is years ago. He and I had done some job somewhere, and he goes, "Hey, run me through McDonald's. I'm hungry." I was like, "Okay." So I run him through McDonald's. He gets like 3 or 4 of these, something insane, and he just eats them all. And we're driving. He just gets real quiet. He goes, "Man, that was a gut bomb." It's like, you think?
Oh god.
So
All right. So to begin with this, why don't you each start with Wendy's? Actually, before we start,
okay, go ahead.
why?
No, go ahead. Whatever you want.
So we'll start with Wendy's, and before we start, hold on, I need to make sure that the audio is fine.
You're going to check the audio?
Yes, I'm just gonna
Okay. So we're starting with Wendy's. Okay. We can do it.
So we have dead air. I can go ahead and tell you.
So my least favorite is going to be, I can tell you right now, the Whopper, the whatever, the Burger King burger.
Audio's fine.
I'm guessing that. My favorite, I think, might be the Steak and Shake burger.
Do you have Burger King here?
Yes.
Can I tell you a
Okay.
funny Burger King story?
Sure.
Okay, when I was 16 years old, I left. I resigned from Little Caesars. I took a job
Resigned.
at Burger King. and it's funny because Burger King, their big pitch years ago was flame broiled burgers. Are their burgers technically cooked over a flame? Yes, they are. However, the flame is basically a conveyor belt that goes over a gas flame and it cooks them. That's your first job at Burger King. They put you on this, they call it burger station or whatever it is. You take the burgers and you put them you run them over the thing, you put them on, and you put them in this thing, this like container that steams and keeps them hot, so the people actually putting the burgers together can grab them and all that stuff. So that was the first spot. I was pretty good at that. I graduated up to the burger board. We actually put them together. Failed miserably. Got demoted back to the burger station.
How did you fail miserably?
Because they had the wrapper. They used to take it and they would like mark all this crap and it didn't make any sense. I was like, I don't know what. And they're like, just get back over there.
God, doesn't sound like
I
a
didn't
lot
last
of
long
training
at that
was
job
involved.
either.
Did we tell the story about the famous Burger King with the bottle rocket?
Bottle rocket.
Did you ever hear that story?
No.
From me?
Yes, the bottle rocket that you let off and you threw under.
It wasn't a bottle rocket. It was a smoke bomb. and it wasn't Burger King. I think it was McDonald's or Wendy's.
Okay.
So what happened was in college, and we were stupid. It's just like you're dumb. You're was it college? I can't remember. But anyway,
you said it was high school, but
well, it was probably high school, and we were sitting there, and someone was with idiot ideas. I don't even know if it was me. I was in the car, but I don't remember if it was me that did it. And the idea was to take a smoke bomb as you get your food, as they hand your food and say thank you, and you throw it into the drive-through window. And somebody wimped out or whatever, so they take the smoke bomb and they just kind of let it go out the window, and it hits the thing and it rolls back towards the building. So this dude pulls up to get his food, and all of a sudden this yellow smoke's going everywhere. And he was like, "What's going on?"
That's great. That is funny.
We were stupid.
Okay, anyway, to begin the ranking, we will start with Wendy's.
Yeah. Okay.
Looking at Wendy's, look at how it's presented, how it's packed, and when you unwrap it. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
well, it's wrapped really flimsy.
You think
Okay.
so? As opposed to the paper?
Okay, I'm
Well,
going
I'll give them an A for brand management. Wendy is right there.
Wendy's. Dave Thomas, Wendy's. How many times did we? The
You remember that-
burger itself looks pretty good.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Looks
Not
pretty
bad.
solid.
Looks pretty
Yeah,
solid.
not too bad.
At least I would say so. I will say. I'll tell you this: it took every fiber in my being to not get something. I was
bet
there
it-
like.
I bet you were. You had to go through 5 drive.
I know I was getting the cold sweats. I was like, oh. McDonald's quarter pounder. Anyway,
You ready?
Okay,
Yes,
so
go
we're
ahead.
trying it.
go ahead, try.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Wow.
I need a napkin.
Gives
That
me
was pretty
flash.
saucy.
Yeah. I'm having flashbacks to college.
Describe what you're tasting. What are you tasting? What's in the burger? I don't even know what's on the burger.
The lettuce is crisp. The tomato is firm.
Pickles?
Not too much. Yeah, not too much. Not too many. You know, like sometimes I just destroy the burger and condiments, but it's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like the bun.
Yeah,
The bun looks good. I will say Wendy's has stepped up their game with food recently. In the past 2 years, I would say, especially with their breakfast, because they added breakfast. Their fries are so good. They use sea salt.
Dude, they've always been good. I used to go in there in college and for $3 get a burger, fries, and a drink.
I remember they came out with baked potatoes, and
No,
everybody
yeah.
wanted to get
Yeah.
baked potatoes.
I love
Put
going
the
there.
microphone near you, or when you're not.
Okay, so maybe it tasted really good though because
Since-
I'm starving.
Yeah, since that's the first burger, that's like of course it's going to be the best one because
Okay, it was pretty good.
Okay. Now what's up next?
Up next is McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Yeah. Presentation.
Mom, make sure to talk into the microphone.
Okay.
Presentation. Adequate but weak.
Adequate.
This is
but
no.
weak.
This is like classic McDonald's presentation for years since I was a kid. Smushed burger, cheese coming out the sides, and it's just smush. It's like you took it and you just like, it's like
I will say.
It's just-
I will say when
you can just shove the whole thing in your mouth.
eating
Yeah.
if I'm feeling low on a day, McDonald's can perk me right up. I'll tell you, it is just the perfect comfort food.
You just love.
I
McDonald's
love it.
comfort
I
food.
love. It's probably one of the only fast foods that sits well with me nowadays.
I like all fast food, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's not-
except Arby's and
Arby's
White
is
Castle.
gross.
White
I
Castle.
drove by the White
Eh.
Castle and I contemplating getting something from there.
Oh God, I don't know if I could have eaten it.
I could take in a bite. I mean, yeah.
A lot of people like White Castle. Okay, so we're trying McDonald's burger.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
I will say my favorite part of the burger is the bun. I love the bun.
I think you're gonna like the bun better on the Wendy's.
Eh.
Pretty all right.
It's classic. I mean, it's a classic, basic McDonald's burger.
Let me write this
Too
down.
much bun for the meat. But
Okay.
not that I wouldn't eat it.
The funny thing is that when you start to taste these, you can say, there are pros and cons, but that reminds me of a classic McDonald's hamburger.
It's a classic McDonald's cheeseburger.
Very
My
basic,
favorite.
very basic. No frills, nothing.
hmm
So
You guys want to know my order when I go to McDonald's?
Yes.
I will go to McDonald's. I'll say, "Sir, can I please have," or "Ma'am, sir, ma'am, can I please have a double quarter pounder with bacon? Add a large fry to it. Give me 6-piece McNuggets as well, and a large chocolate milkshake."
Oh my God.
And I down the entire thing. After I ate it, my stomach is bloated. It's out there, but it tastes great.
But it tastes great.
Mhm.
you should go up to the drive-thru and say, "Give me a bottle of anything and a glazed donut to
Yeah.
go." Do you remember that famous? You don't remember that? That's a famous David Lee Roth song.
So as of right now, Wendy's is at the top.
Yeah, Wendy's
And
is better.
McDonald's
Don't
is
you think?
below,
I think so.
McDonald's is below Wendy's.
Yep.
Definitely.
Okay.
What's next?
All right.
This one? Who's this?
Oh, what did you want to go next? What did you want us to eat next?
Hold on. I am.
That's DQ. That must be Burger King.
McDonald's. I am writing the rankings down real quick. Okay. Next up is Steak and Shake.
Ugh.
Steak and Shake is a classic single steak burger. I miss Steak and Shake is still doing curbside / drive-through. I miss going into Steak and Shake.
That takes
I don't
too
know
long
what
to
it
drive
Okay, so
through.
this is good. This is better than the McDonald's cheeseburger. There's
think
more
so?
meat involved.
Okay.
The bun is softer.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh yeah, that's much better.
It tastes like more burgery.
More burgery than the McDonald's burger.
Tastes like something I would
It
cook.
tastes like a steak.
Yeah.
The
They do
seasoning.
call it the steak burger.
the seasoning.
The seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's
That's
salty.
my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
It is it's your favorite one.
Yeah.
So far.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yep.
I just want to
Really?
take another bite. Am I allowed to take another
Yeah,
bite?
you
of
can
it?
take another bite. Yeah. You just gotta pace yourself.
You know what's funny? I thought the exact same thing.
That was really good.
It's like drinking. You gotta pace yourself.
I'm coming back to this.
Okay. Go ahead.
That's good.
As of right now, it is Steak and Shake at the top.
I just need some of those fries with some cheese sauce.
So you guys both agree that Steak and Shake is first, Wendy's is second,
Yep.
and McDonald's is third currently. Okay. Next up is Dairy Queen. Now
Now,
they are
ba-
not known for their burgers.
Let me
I'm
tell you
interested to See
something.
how this goes.
The one thing that's interesting to me about this is though that if the Wendy's burger had just been a straight burger with no, I think that it would probably been a bit more comparable. But because they added so many things, it's
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
true.
But just basic burger.
right.
I mean, basically McDonald's and Steak and Shake all day.
Oh
Right.
yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah,
What's the price point?
that could be on my part.
No, you didn't mess anything
no,
up.
no, I know. But when I went to Wendy's, I was like, "Can I just get a cheeseburger?" And they're like, "Oh
Right.
yeah, the Dave single." I was like, "Sure, I guess." I don't know what that is, but yeah.
How much does a cheeseburger cost at Steak and
So-
Shake versus McDonald's?
So,
McDonald's is like
I
$1.
would say
isn't it?
I think McDonald's was like McDonald's, Burger King, and Dairy Queen were all like $3. I think
For two burgers?
$3 to $4. Yeah. Steak and Shake was more, and I think Wendy's might have been around there as well, like $3
Yeah.
to $4, $3 to $5.
What's that saying? You pay for what you get, what you pay for.
Get what you pay for.
Okay, so
Yeah,
what's
so
the
next
next
up is Dairy Queen.
It's this one.
Okay, this one's wrapped nice and tight though.
Yep.
I'm sure everybody was wondering why I was there at
Look
10:45
at the
in the
extra
morning.
cheese. I like that. I'm a cheese fan on my burgers.
Last few
Bun
times
looks
I've been
pretty
in,
good.
last few times I've been in a DQ, I haven't been impressed with their customer service.
They're
I will
trying
say the
to.
lady at the drive-thru, I've been there a few times because I'll go to McDonald's. Actually, recently what I've been doing is I won't get a large chocolate shake at McDonald's. Right where I live, there's the McDonald's
Yeah.
and Dairy
the
Queen.
Dairy Queen.
So I'll go to McDonald's
Oh,
and
yeah.
go right to the Dairy Queen and get a Blizzard.
Oh,
Lady's super nice.
That's
So-
cool.
yeah. Okay,
You ready?
burger. Here we go.
Impressed? Disappointed?
No, reminds me of a baseball game.
A baseball game. Interesting.
It's
Interesting
more
thoughts.
flame broiled.
Yeah.
Flame broiled.
It's gonna be like
Tastes more like grilled burger.
yeah,
Mm.
like charcoal.
Yeah. Something you get at a
Talking to the
picnic.
mic-
It's charcoal grilled.
Yeah.
That's what it tastes like.
talking to the microphone.
It's charcoal grilled.
There you go.
My last experience.
You want
or-
to try it?
Anyway, save that story for another
I will
time.
try it at some point.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Dairy Queen. Okay.
That's probably above McDonald's.
Yeah.
in between.
I gotta go
below-
back and try the Wendy's.
Above McDonald's, before Wendy's.
Let me just let me taste the Wendy's again. Let me just see.
Yeah, go ahead. Give it a whirl. It's all there.
Do you remember the Wendy's song? You have two sets of twins and they're like dabbing there because there's juicy burgers.
I think Wendy's is better than DQ.
Okay. So as the rankings go right now, it is Steak and Shake, Wendy's, DQ, and then McDonald's at the bottom.
At the bottom.
Next, last but certainly not least, is Burger King.
Oh, that's pretty good, man.
The Wendy's. Again, good job wrapping the burger up.
I will
tight.
say the presentation on all these is pretty pristine.
It is pretty good. They've did a good job.
There's no. I don't think. I think the worst is probably McDonald's. But I mean,
This is sesame seed bun,
yeah, that looks plain.
And
because it is, but that looks sad. That
it
looks
looks
like a
sad
naked
because
burger.
your
Who's this?
burger is inside your bun.
Yes.
The what?
Your burger's inside your burger's inside your bun.
The where's the beef moment?
Yeah, where's the
it's
beef?
really small.
What was that? What was that TV commercial? Where's
Burger
the
King.
beef? That was Burger King?
Remember, because those three old ladies in the back of it, and she goes, "I'll have a burger," and it's basically a bun with like a little dime-sized burger on it.
Initial thoughts.
You can't chase the burger.
Yeah, it's weak.
It tastes like cheese.
Yeah,
Tastes like cheese, huh?
tastes
You
like
can taste
bread.
the cheese and the pickle.
Really? All right.
The
What
bun's
is
not
that?
bad though.
You recognize the texture of the meat, but it's not
I think it might be above the McDonald's though.
probably.
There's definitely more flavor than McDonald's.
definitely more flavor than
I'm
McDonald's.
gonna put McDonald's at the bottom.
Yeah, see, McDonald's hide the mediocrity and all the other crap. they put on there.
Very true. Okay, so
Ray Kroc
very,
is spinning his grave right
very interesting. Okay.
I was surprised because I would have put. Whoops, I would have put the
Wendy's.
Whopper at the bottom. I
The
think that's what
Whopper
I
at
guessed.
the bottom.
But I didn't. I put the Whopper in front of the McDonald's.
You did
now.
think
The
that.
Whopper.
The Burger King burger.
Oh.
Okay. So,
One thing about it's fascinating about this though, and it's interesting. You mentioned price point a bit ago. You know, a lot of these places would compete on price. So if this is like a $1 burger, all right, it's a $1 burger.
yeah.
That's
True.
okay. I mean, so
Yeah.
this one's. I think the Wendy's honestly tastes more like a restaurant burger, closer
Really?
to that at least.
Well, these
I
three
will-
were all the same price, right? This
it's
one,
funny-
this one,
Yeah. It's funny you
and
say
Dairy Queen.
It's funny you say that because the Wendy's burger like even looks better from afar.
Yeah.
I don't know. This Steak and Shake burger is good.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how the people that work at Steak and Shake over that grill don't have complexion problems after about a week. It's literally over a grill the entire time.
Oh yeah. I've seen it.
It's good.
Steak and Shake is good.
That's damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I did not think that Steak and Shake was going to be a clear winner, but that does not surprise me.
I think
mean-
it's a clear winner.
I mean, followed closely by Wendy's and, you know, the Burger King, whatever that is.
Dairy
You
Queen.
can-
I do think that's interesting because these two are two different price points. That's why they're better.
Yeah.
They mimic each other. These three are the same category kind of thing.
Cheap burger.
Mm-hmm.
Cheap, but good. So as the rankings are, it's Steak and Shake, Wendy's, Dairy Queen, Burger King, and McDonald's, and all of these are on presentation and taste.
Yep.
Wow.
And I found a few spots in here where it wasn't completely done. That's not bad.
All right.
I like that. That was really good.
And the Steak and Shake burger is gone. Wow.
No, I finished it.
I mean,
Yeah.
the problem with and I get it why they do it, quality control, but when you overcook any kind of meat, it just destroys it,
Right.
in my opinion.
I get that. Wow. Well, those are the definitive rankings for fast
Done.
food burgers. There you go. Do you feel worse yet?
Not yet.
Give it an hour.
It hasn't hit me yet.
Give it an hour. Well, that was a fun little segment.
Yeah, I mean,
Ranking fast food burgers. We'll have to do something else. We'll have to do. I don't know.
Actually, fast food in general has always fascinated me, especially, I mean, as an adult, like you watch the movie The Founder, and see what goes into this and how you have to create. I mean, because their margins are slim, you know. It's fascinating. They have all this stuff dialed in such that then they do make money, you know, or how many units you have to sell. It's just like any business. How many units you have to sell, fixed costs, all that stuff,
Right.
and how they do it in, you know, times of rising, you know, sharply rising wages or product, you know, supplies.
I was in the McDonald's the other day picking up a breakfast for Calvin, and I walked in and I walked up to the counter because there was nobody there, and you know, thinking I could just place my order.
They say behind the yellow line.
No, they didn't say that. And she took my order, but then somebody came in behind me, and she's like, "You can use those kiosks over there."
Oh yeah.
They do not want people coming to the register.
Every single place that we stopped at in Tennessee, we went to Taco Bell and then we went to Fazoli's. They both had
Kiosks.
touch kiosks that I used, and they were
Well,
awesome.
It always makes me laugh though, because I go, that's kind of where you're already heading,
Yeah.
and you have these movements to increase per hour wages. You go, okay, all of a sudden these capital investments that weren't attractive before now are all of a sudden attractive. Let's say, okay, if this is the trend line for wages, well, then we have to adjust our business model.
Right.
Those kiosks don't call in sick. I mean, they don't quit on you. I mean, so it's interesting to see how automation is
You don't have
slowly,
to train them.
yeah,
They get the order right every time.
more rapidly. And that's just a trend that's going to accelerate. I mean, I think you're going to see increasing automation in these kinds of operations, because that human element's just too unpredictable. I mean,
I agree.
so
Well, let's come up with something else to rank. There is we can do a proper burger, like Five Guys or
We can do the
Prodigy
luxurious
Bubs.
burgers.
We can do luxurious burgers. We can do best chicken sandwich. We can do
Chick-fil-A wins that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll sign up for any of those.
Okay.
You know, what we should do is maybe a specialty chicken sandwich, like a spicy chicken sandwich,
All right.
and say, what do you think about this or that? I will tell you, based on my experience, Wendy's has the hottest freaking sandwich.
Who?
Chicken sandwich. Spicy chicken sandwich I've ever eaten.
Who?
Wendy's does.
Oh, Wendy's. Really
Yeah.
interesting.
Now, Chick-fil-A's chicken sandwich deluxe is better than their spicy chicken sandwich deluxe is better because the spicy chicken deluxe has Kojak cheese, not Kojak,
Pepper
what's
Jack.
that? Pepper Jack cheese and some other things. So.
Interesting.
I think the other
Dad, you
thing,
can fix your mic, by the way.
the other thing we need to do is candy bar.
Oh, that would be
There we go.
interesting. I was thinking just about straight food, but yeah, we could do candy. That'd be
total
good.
candy bar.
Yeah.
Just don't let Calvin know. He'll eat the
Yeah,
whole stash.
really. Jeez.
Oh no, he would be perfect to have on for the like which one's your favorite?
He goes, does it have chocolate? Then it's my favorite.
No, he has a definite opinion about candy bars. Milky
does?
Way, Three Musketeer, Kit Kat.
Milky Way and Three Musketeers are fire. They're so good.
So,
Really?
I love. Yeah.
You're not a Snickers guy?
No.
Snickers
I
is
like
the other one.
Snickers, but I won't. They're not my candy of choice. Not by a long shot.
I'm a long shot, huh?
Anyway,
Well, now that we're all in food coma.
moving on from the ranking burgers segment, we were gone last week because of Memorial Day.
Day.
Yep.
We went up to Tennessee, had a good time. Maybe fell off some cliffs. I don't know.
I still can't believe
got
You
a
didn't
couple
get that on
bruises.
phone.
For anybody listening, there's a rope swing in Tennessee where we stay, and
It's based on the side of a cliff.
It's basically it's on an island in the middle of the lake, and it's on a cliff, yeah. And so the highest point you can get up to is pretty high. I would say maybe like 50, 60 feet. Yes, it is. It is that high.
It's not that high.
Yes, it
The
is.
freaking cliffs aren't 60 feet. You're not going that high.
Okay, 30, 40.
Okay, there you go.
30, 40 feet.
Still doesn't matter. It hurts.
Yeah, whatever. And so I like going off the highest point, and I went off the highest. I get up there. Probably didn't help that I was drinking a little bit. I get up there. I run down, and at the very tail end of the swing, you're just supposed to let go. I ended up wanting to get higher and get more momentum. So I do like a last little push with my legs off of the rope swing while letting go. Lo and behold, that pushes my momentum backwards, and I fall all the way down to the lake on my back.
You have to set this up though. This is
And I got a fat bruise.
this is basically a cliff. You're walking up a very, very steep, hillside,
Right.
and it's slick and there's rocks everywhere. And this is a rope swing that's been there for decades,
Years.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the people, and it's an island in the middle of Wattsboro Lake, so it's a public island. Anybody can go over there, and people years ago put up basically a ski rope. So you'll climb up there, and there's 3 different spots you can swing from. There's low, middle, and high.
Yeah.
And you swing out, and you're like, you better let go, because if you don't, you swing back, it's trouble.
Yeah.
So the thing that I've always worried about is the moment, when do you let go? And you kind of just get out there, and maybe you're a little early, but you maybe just a hair late, but
Yeah.
you bet,
And when I did that, I realized how perfect or how well you need to time it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I guess I just been timing it right the entire time, and that time I did not.
I've never heard of anybody getting hurt there either. Out of all, I'm sure people have, but
Oh, I would bet people have. I would be surprised if they hadn't.
But yeah, it's a cool place. It's very it's cool that it's a community gathering spot. People go there to rope swing for 15 minutes and take off, and then just
watch other people rope swing.
Yeah,
I was telling you guys yesterday at dinner or last night at dinner that after I fell, it hurt so bad for like maybe 5 minutes, but that initial shock of hitting the water, and I like had the wind knocked out of me for like a second or two. I get up, but like if I was on the ground, I would have just like sat there and like gone back and forth and like screamed. Right? I'm a pretty good. I can like deal with pain pretty well, and that's probably all I would have done. Like just like clench my fist and been like screamed. Right? Maybe said a few cuss words. But when I was in the water, I couldn't do that because I'm in the water. So like I'm trying to swim, but like I'm trying to hold my back and also screaming, but also trying to get over to the shore, but and holding my back. Like I'm trying not to drown. Like it was a bunch of things, and I couldn't like focus on one. Like I don't know. It was very interesting.
Did it knock the wind out of you, or did it actually like hurt, or both?
Both.
Both?
Yeah. Like it. Yeah.
Did you hit flat? I mean,
yeah.
Damn.
He was
Really?
like, well, it was like in.
I was almost flat.
Yeah, it was almost flat.
Pretty
like,
near
basically,
close.
Yeah, so his back and butt hit at the same time. It
Right.
went like that.
It's funny because you have those experiences, then you get on YouTube and see these people jumping off cliffs and quarries. You go, "What are you doing? You're dead if you land wrong."
But after I fell, I knew that if I didn't go again, that I would be scared to go the next time I came. So got up there, did it 2 more times, and left.
That's the difference between little boy Harrison and adult man Harrison.
That's
because do
right.
you remember years ago, he went up there with Jared and then he slipped and he's crying and he's like, "I just can't do it. I can't do it."
Well,
and
because
you finally, I think you did it.
I was over it already. I didn't.
You were little though.
At that time,
he wasn't
at
old.
that
How
time,
old was he?
I was a child and my shins were scraped and bloodied. So of course I was not going to go back.
He was younger
up
than
there
Calvin.
Again.
He was younger than Calvin.
I'm sure it was
No,
early.
I was not. I was not younger than Calvin. I was older than Calvin.
No, because we went
Yes,
down
I
there.
was.
He was probably 12.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I was probably 11.
It was 2010?
Yeah.
No, that's not right.
I was probably 10 or 12. 10
Because I used to take you guys down there, and we were in the silver Suburban then, so it had to have been before 2008.
I don't think so.
I don't think
He
so.
was not been younger than Calvin.
I wouldn't
Well,
have
Calvin's
done it.
9. He could have been 7 or 8 when we did it.
There's no way.
Because I used to take that. That was the trip we went down
He
there.
didn't even go tubing until he was 12.
I'm saying he was trying to get up there and slipped, and Jared was trying to help him. I don't think you ended up going.
No, but that's the thing is that I would have gone.
No, but exactly.
If
he
I
was,
did not
he was
scrape my
not
shins, but
willing to
then-
do anything on water sports.
That was the trip where, wasn't that the trip where my dad's pontoon died? We couldn't get it started.
Yep, that was the trip. Yeah, where Jared
we
tried
call-
tugging us back.
Yeah, Jared's like, "I'm gonna swim it back." It's like, "No, you're not. It's across the lake." So we finally get hold of my dad, and he comes over there with his friend, and his friend's pulling us back, and he gets up close to the dock. And my dad goes, "Watch out, John." Well, John, instead of stopping, guns it and like kicks the end around and
Yeah.
smacks into the dock. We're like, "Oh."
I remember that. I do remember
But
that.
no, when you were little, you didn't like any of the water sports. You didn't want to do tubing. You didn't want to do anything.
You didn't want to do anything. I remember I had the canoe there. I had bought that canoe, the green canoe, and it was there. And I said,
No,
"Let's
he
go."
was- no.
Here, I've got a picture of him somewhere, him like crying.
Yeah.
I was like,
I was
"I'm just asking you to ride."
I
It's
was,
just
that's when I was probably in 5th or 6th grade during that. 6th, 7th. Not
no, you
7th.
weren't that old. You were maybe 4th or 5th grade because you had your.
Canoes are just my worst enemy. I tell you, when we not only did that suck. I mean, I don't mind canoes now. Whatever. I'll get in if I fall out. Whatever. But after that experience, the only other canoe experience I had was with Granddad when we went and rode
yeah.
on those like other
Yeah,
lakes.
the
or
lakes,
something like
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Well, it was a great experience until we get to this part where it's literally a creek, and we're rowing down this creek, and the creek is surrounded by all this brush. It's literally like I'm getting hit by the brush,
Yeah.
like everywhere, like on both sides. And I'm rowing, and I'm like, whatever, I'm trying to knock the brush off, and I look, and there are spiders everywhere getting into the canoe. And here I am. Spiders are my least favorite insect. They are terrible.
Right.
And I'm trying to like bat them on the canoe, and meanwhile Granddad's trying to row, but I stop rowing and I'm batting them down, like the canoe's going back and forth. And Granddad's like, "What are you doing back there?" And I'm like, Granddad, there are spiders everywhere. And he was trying to stay calm, but like I could not stay calm. And it was just
But that's what makes those experiences so much fun because you remember it.
yes. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I guess.
that was how old are you then? You were middle school probably.
Yeah, he was in
Yes.
7th or 8th
I was
grade
in
then.
7th.
You got a T-shirt, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
But it was a fun weekend. All my friends were there. It'll be just a few short weeks when we're there for 4th of July. Be a good
It was so.
time.
I've told this. I brought this up last night, but I don't know what it sticks into my head. Probably because Malin doesn't do these things often, and she's on the back of the jet ski, and you were about to take off, and she goes, "It's so freaking cold." I was like, "It's not gonna be a good time." is
Madeline
it?
doesn't like the adrenaline.
Of
I
riding
like
on
it.
the.
I like that's why I like roller coasters or like the jet ski ride. Like I was going on the the slough with the jet ski, and it took me a little bit to get used to it. And so I'm going, and like the more I get used to it, the faster I go. Right, so I go around the first time, I come back. I'm going like a decent speed. Come back around, go a little bit faster, and then I come back around the third time and I gun it. And she like wasn't holding on to me tight enough, and she grabs my vest and she's like, "Slow down, slow down." I was like, "Baby, it's not, I'm trying to go max speed." She was like, "I don't want to go max speed." I was like, "All right, whatever, that's fine. I'll take you back. And then Casey obviously doesn't care. He's not going to say anything. So I made the choice of going out onto the actual lake, trying to go max speed, and it didn't. I
And
mean,
you both were on it.
yeah, it was just too choppy. I couldn't do it, so I came back.
It was really
But-
choppy that weekend though because of the weather.
That jet ski is
It was-
very hard to control when on choppy water like
when
that.
it was windy because it was so windy.
It was funny because I was reading Mom the manual about how to do it, and I was like, okay, for the first 30 minutes, you keep it under this RPM and this RPM. And then I heard you guys out there just going, what? I was like, oh, well, I guess it's broken in.
It was nice. It was nice, although it felt weird docking it because you feel like you're gonna ram the dock because you're.
Actually, I like it better than the old one.
I do too because you don't have to hold it, and it's easier.
The reverse
to be
is way
honest.
easier.
Yeah, but it was a good time.
Yeah, it
No,
took me a while to get used to the floating dock.
We have to add some backstory, too, because this adds flavor to this whole story. We have another jet ski, an older one, a 2001, that we've had for a few years that we've kept in Tennessee. And last year we got it back from where we stored it. And it ran for, I don't know, half an hour maybe, and something happened. So I take it to the place. They fix it, this local marina. They fix it, get it back, I don't know, a couple months later. We drive it again for another 30 minutes, maybe, not even that long. Starts making this leaking oil everywhere into the inside of it. Take it back over. They've had it for a year. I finally get it back. He calls me. He called me a few weeks ago and said, hey, it's ready to go. So I went and picked it up, brought it back. And we had a floating dock put in, and that's what necessitated me, putting it into the water and all that stuff. Ran great, no problem. And so the next day, and the kids were riding it, everything was cool. And the next day, I'm running an errand somewhere. I don't know where I was at. And Emily calls me, goes, hey, is there supposed to be a lot of water in the engine compartment? I was like, no. And then Emily just starts letting loose with all of what happened was the people that had it had taken the drain plugs out in the back, but not replaced them. So
Tisk.
So that's that. It was a weekend full of a lot of fun with the new one, but then trouble with the old one. Hopefully we'll get the old one back at some point.
It just reminded me of how important it is customer service.
Well, it's just being thorough. It's just being thorough.
And yeah.
I mean, they obviously, because when I went to pick it up, it was on its back. It was basically at 45. I'm assuming to let stuff drain. I'm like, it didn't take 5 minutes for this to drain. It's clearly that's what you're doing. So put it back upright and put the plugs back in. It took me 2 seconds to put the plugs in.
No, I know.
I mean, no time at all. And then I guess one of my first questions was, why does it have so much water in it? Why do you have the plugs out anyway?
Right.
If the cover's on it, the seat's on it, it's waterproof. Unless something happened.
Right.
So anyway, we'll get it back hopefully.
Yeah. And then we had the Indy 500 that weekend as well.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a great race.
A lot of fun. Being able to watch it on TV like properly was good.
Yeah.
So still don't know why they don't air it in. That's such an old rule. I thought
with Penske they were going to change that.
I think Penske will end up changing it. I
Okay.
mean, this year they showed it locally because they had the
that-
reduced crowds and they met the crowd requirement.
That is
Whatever.
such an old rule that is
Yeah.
honestly hurting you more than helping
What
you.
always makes me laugh because I think whether you show it or don't show it, I'm still not going to the race.
Yeah.
Now I might watch it, but I'm definitely not going to the race.
Right.
So how much of an audience do you lose by doing that
A
versus
significant
saying
amount, because if you're not going to go anyway, and you try to bootleg it and try to find it online another way, but can't do that, then you're just not going to watch the race. You're going to listen to it.
You're right. So I'm like,
Might as well put it on the TV.
that's the whole thing about. Remember basketball? They used to black it out if they didn't sell something. It's like, really, guys? Because I'm not going downtown to the game.
Yeah, it's like,
I mean, I get it, but I'm not
even
going to
if
do
it
that.
can be like pay-per-view, it's better than what they're doing now.
Right.
That's what I think. I think that I could see them blacking it out and saying, okay, if you want to watch it, it's $50. I pay $50.
Yeah.
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 For sure.
So
Yep.
So that was,
It was a
fun.
good race.
Though. Yeah, to watch it
Yeah.
live.
Great ending too. I like to see Helio win, and that was really neat.
It was a very fun race to watch. Probably
No.
one of the most fun races in the past, I don't know, 10
Almost
years.
no wrecks.
There were just a few, but they all had to do with the pit row.
Yeah, they weren't anything crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so that was good.
it's cool. It's kind of a bit of a. I thought it was funny too. We talked about this because they were, because I remember they said they're going to have a mask requirement to go to the race, and when we first turned on the footage when all the pre-game stuff or race stuff, I was like, no one has a mask on. Even the people doing the news don't have a mask on. And wasn't there somebody like? There's a picture of some lady standing down there who worked there that says, "Please put your mask on," and people just walking by her. No, you know.
Yeah, she had a paddle that she had up. It was hilarious.
It's like I'll hold the paddle, but I'm not going to say
What a
anything.
horrible job, but people were being nice, which was important. But yeah, there was nobody.
Beautiful day for it too. Cool outside.
Yeah,
One of the things I was struck by was when Helio won and he stopped his car, and you don't really get to see it like this very often, but their tires are just trashed. They're just pockmarked, and so no wonder they have to switch those. I mean, every few, however many laps it is, because they were gone. His tires looked rough, and I remember watching the F1 show. I remember they talked about how if you have to go in for tires because the car gets squirrely, it starts. Don't you remember that?
right.
So they start to lose.
I thought one of my favorite stories was the Beth, the lady that owned the mostly female race team.
Oh yeah, the pit crew, the female pit crew.
They were all women that were jumping over the wall for the first. That was really cool to watch them,
Right.
do that and do well at it, and it was just really neat.
Of course they can do well at it.
Well, no, I know, but you just don't get, and then I just listening to their story about like how they had to, what they had to learn to be able to do
Yeah,
it.
right.
And, like you just, I mean, it was just really cool. It
And then
was a
she
neat story.
wrecked it, didn't she?
Coming in. Yeah, she was there until the last 18 laps.
Right.
She made it through the race until like the last 30 or 18 laps. I can't remember. But it was just, she was coming into pit and just, I guess there was some issue with the brakes. Like if you didn't activate them soon enough, you
They had
couldn't.
to pump the brakes to get them up, so
yeah,
it
you
worked.
couldn't
was like, what
stop
kind of freaking
fast
brake
enough or
system is
something.
that?
I know, right? And so I think that's why all three people hit the.
You're like,
'cause
oh,
they're
there's
like,
a
why are
wreck.
we having so many crashes on pit lane? And that's apparently
It's like,
why.
oh, there's a wreck there. Let me start to pump the brakes. It's like, what?
There was something about that with the. But anyway, it was really, really interesting.
But that's why Scott Dixon got kicked out. I didn't realize until your dad said that last night. I must
what?
not have been watching.
What?
He ran out of gas, basically.
Yeah.
And they
then
couldn't get the car
restart
started.
his car, right?
Yeah. Because I remember he was sitting in pit row. I was like, what's going on? Does he have something? I had no idea. I must not have been paying attention.
And his teammate. I think the same thing happened to him and both of them.
Yeah.
So there was some.
Because they were at the very
race strategy.
back, remember? And he goes, let's go.
Yeah.
And they're like, everything was going to have to line up perfectly for them to get back. But I don't think they finished 17th or something.
I mean, they made their way back a little bit, but not.
Yeah. You're done at that point. What was fascinating to me was to watch the race. And I didn't even think Helio had a shot. But I was watching the last half hour or so. And you could see him start to inch up. And they said he just ran a clean race.
Yeah.
Just let everybody else go out and just slow and steady.
Smart man.
Very cool.
The reason I asked your dad last night, what's the oldest person to win the race? Because someone wrote an article about Helio and said at 46, he's kind of the old man on the track.
Right.
And I thought at what point historically, because he is an older guy, to be on the, when you're racing against 20-year-olds and whatever, 21-year-olds. I mean, at what point, I guess I mean, at some point you kind of say, I've done what I'm going to do and that's it. I'm not as good as I used to be.
Right.
So, because that's the only Indy race he did this whole year, wasn't it?
That's the only one he signed up for.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that race team that won was not a well-known race team, so that was kind of
Yeah, I thought it was like a last-minute sign-up.
Yeah, that was cool for them.
Yeah, because he wasn't with Penske. He was with some other car series for a while, and this was like a last-minute thing for him to come and run an Indy for that obscure team.
Huh. Interesting.
And he won.
Going back to F1, I last night watched two things. One of them was like pretty decent. The other one I was shocked by. I was shocked by how much I loved it and how much of a masterpiece I think it is.
What?
Do you guys know Bo Burnham? Bo Burnham?
I've heard of that name. Who is it?
Bo, he started out on Vine and like making these
Was
clips.
this I tried to watch that the other
And
day.
he was making these clips. He made these clips. Like,
They're
he's
supposed
really
to be funny,
yeah.
right?
He's really he made these really funny.
Is he the guy that does the voice? Like he has like an announcer voice?
No, I don't
No.
think so.
Okay.
It came across my Netflix thing.
But he made these clips on Vine that were very, very funny and very clever, right? Like he would go, like one of my favorites was that this was so back like before TikTok, before Musical.ly, before like when this was becoming a thing, this short form of content, he went up to a drive-through and he was like, "Hey, can I get a number 2?" And there's like, "Yeah, sure." And then he pans over and there's like a huge blown up number 2 in his passenger seat, and he just like gives the camera a look. Anyway, he came out with this special. Actually, back up for a sec. He was doing live comedy for like 4 to 5 years, or for a few years, right? He was doing stand up. He was performing in front of live audiences. In 2016, he took a break because he was just having panic attacks on stage and like his mental health wasn't good. So he took a break for 5 years, and then he's been working on this special for the past year. And I've watched his other stuff, and it hasn't really like it's good, right? Like I understand why people like it, and like it takes a lot of work to do something like that, especially in the form of comedy, because what he's doing is he's playing the piano, they're playing instruments, and he's making songs, but while inserting comedy bits into the songs. These are original songs, and then there occasionally be like him actually getting up and talking to the stage and like whatever.
Yeah, because the preview, I clicked on and watched the preview, and it's
totally
like
something
him
that you would
playing the piano, and then he goes up and shuts the door. I'm like, what is this about? Like, I don't get it. Is he a country singer?
No,
is he what is he?
You would not like it, I don't think. But basically, it's so fascinating. In this special, he was in this room, and you know the room I'm talking about, this confined space. I don't even know how much square footage it is, but it's small. I don't know where it is, but it's small. And
no audience?
No audience.
No, it's just.
And so he created the special on his own with the lights, the camera, everything. The songs, of course, the music. And a lot of the songs are very true. They're very on point, but it was so interesting seeing the special over time because it took him a year to make it.
Right.
And so that's all he was doing for that year. And it was COVID. So he was in that room, confined space for that entire time. And so you see his hair getting longer, his beard getting longer, like his mental health dwindling, like you can see it. And it was just, it hit so many emotions because I was like, well, this is like as a videographer and like person who watches movies and appreciates them, I was like, this is unbelievable what he did. It was just, I was blown away with like the lights. Like there were times where he would be singing a song and doing his thing, and he had these 3 pedals in front of him that controlled 3 different lights. And he had a huge bright light on his phone that he held behind on his butt like that, and at the right time he would flash it on the wall as like in the song it'd be like ha, and then like he'd flash it, and he would be pressing these different pedals for the lights. And that's just one example, but it's very introspective, and all the songs have a deeper meaning. There's one song that he said it's basically about how everybody wants the world in their hands, but now that they have it, they don't know what to do with it, and they don't know if they really want it. Like in terms of technology, that's
right.
And so it was just so good, and I really enjoyed it. And I don't know if you'll like it. It's kind of it's very Bo Burnham, and it's kind of quirky. Like he's just a quirky guy in general, but it's very. I mean, it's very fun. I would say it's funny because he's promoting it and marketing it as like a comedy special, but really it's more of a
performance.
It's more of a performance, but also a look into what COVID was like for most people in 2020. And so I just thought it was just very cool. It was very, very cool, and good for him because he was gone for such a long time, and he said he was actually going to come back in January of 2020 to perform, but then COVID hit, and then couldn't do anything.
Fascinating.
I would just recommend for somebody to check it out because the songs are not only very, very meaningful and introspective, but they're also just good. Like they're good songs. Like I can't stop thinking about the songs that, like most of the songs that he listened to or that he performed, because they're just so good. The other thing that I watched was the Friends reunion.
Okay, I haven't done that yet. We need to watch that.
which it was very bittersweet because I was watching it and they, not to spoil anything, but
You're not. I'm not gonna watch it. Go ahead.
they come out, and for the very first few minutes of the reunion, they all react to the set being built again for the first time, and they all walk in to meet each other as they're seeing the set for the first time in however many years, 17 years.
They're not in character though.
What?
They're not in character.
No, they're not in character. It's just them, and they're reminiscing, and they do a few of these activities, like they do the trivia game that they did in one of the episodes where where Rachel and Monica, they lost their apartment because Chandler and Joey won the trivia game to get their apartment. That's that's in there. But it was weird because they do a few table readings as their characters, and they're in character, and the editing is fantastic because they're doing the table read, but then they're also cutting back to the actual scene what they were doing. And so when they're table reading, it's like they haven't even missed a beat. It's like they haven't even left. Like I'm listening to them talk, and then they cut back, and it's like they're there. Like the same thing.
Oh, weird.
And
I'm sure they became their characters to some degree.
Yeah. And so they were saying that at that time, they likened their to make people understand their relationships to one another. They said that if they see one another at a party, they'll usually just talk to them the entire night because they don't see each other too often anymore, and two, they had this experience that really very few people have, right? Because Friends was just a phenomenon for so long. But it was so interesting to see them interact as just them, behind the scenes.
People.
They show a bunch of behind the scenes footage as well that nobody's ever seen before, which is really, really cool.
That was,
and I really, really enjoyed it. It was pretty solid. Minus there's like filler. Like James Corden hosts it, which I wasn't a big fan of. He's fine. And Lady Gaga shows up for whatever reason. I don't know why she's there. But yeah.
One of the things about that show that's interesting to me is that it represents a period in your life.
Yeah.
It reminds me, I was right out of college. We were newly married. It had been on for a while. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you think back and you go, oh, you connected with that because that's kind of who you were then.
Yeah.
But then you have kids and all that stuff, and you get further and further away from that. But it is nostalgic to watch those shows and go, oh, I remember that time, or I remember why that was funny.
Yeah.
Or the world was totally different.
And they brought in the three creators of the show to interview and be a part of the reunion. And they said that if you could sum up. They said that the one sentence pitch for the show is at that point in time of your life where your friends are your family. Yeah. I was like, that's genius. I was like, that's awesome.
And they were all basically unknown. I mean,
they were saying that they actually go into how they cast each person.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Aniston was actually on another show, but she enjoyed Friends so much that she went to the producer or whoever of the other show and was like, I'm like, please let me off this show. Like, I want to go do the show. Joey was a nobody.
They all were. I think it did some commercial work. What's interesting, Bert Kreischer talks about pilot season. Years ago, pilot season, you could make enough money for the whole year during pilot season.
Yeah.
As an actor, you would just go show up and you do 20 or 30 pilots.
Yeah.
Like shoot a show.
That's what Jennifer Aniston said.
And I mean, most of them don't go. So like what's interesting about that show was it became so popular so fast. They're on Oprah. I mean, it was like a year. It's just exploded. It carried Thursday night TV?
Yeah.
I mean, basically, there was the anchor, and it was a cultural phenomenon.
And that's what she said, that she would just do pilot after pilot. And that she was so used to doing pilot after pilot that when she got to this show, which was her first big hit, that she was like kind of caught off guard and whatnot. But
also what's interesting is that a lot of those kind of collective ensemble casts like that, though, I mean, Jennifer Aniston's done some things, but for the most part, they all kind of had done this, that, and the other. But then you think back and you go, they were making such ridiculous money 25 years ago, $1 million an episode. So 20 mil a year. And so they don't need to work anymore, probably.
Yeah. The creators were saying that what was I thinking about? Oh, I don't remember. But crap. It just came back to me and then left again.
I gotta go.
The creators, I don't remember. I'm sorry. Yeah. But I highly recommend the special as well.
We'll watch that. I wanted to watch it because the
Or the
girls that
reunion.
we went to dinner with the other night were watching it. So
The cool thing about that was back when I remember watching sitcoms. Friends was always funny. You had these like Caroline in the City that was funny. Frasier, NBC had this collection
Yeah.
of sitcoms, and I remember watching Frasier and dying laughing. I mean, it was just hysterical. And some of those shows just clicked. Friends was one of them. They were never bad, and it was cool to see their relationships and all this stuff.
Yeah,
And
it was cool. It was interesting because the creator said that there wasn't a main character. Like,
Right.
they're all just like the friends.
the
like
friends,
that's
yeah,
what
it was
they
like
are.
all one
Yeah.
main character.
Yeah, which I
Yeah,
thought
that
was
is true.
Yeah, which I thought was brilliant as well.
and it's funny because you watch that show now, or even back then I'd watch it, and I think, how do you afford an apartment like that in New York City?
I know that's what we
Working
talk-
at a
that's- I
coffee
talk to
shop
Madeline about that all the
downstairs.
time, yeah, I talk with Madeline about it all the time.
So anyway,
Well, I know you got to wrap it up because you got to get
I've got a
back to the
meeting,
house for meetings. So, Harrison, I'd like to thank you for bringing all the burgers.
You're welcome.
They were really good.
yeah, they're really fantastic,
So,
especially that one that we killed.
yep. And, yeah, let's move on to the next challenge.
Sounds good. I'm gonna go back to my computer so I can turn the live stream off after you end it.
Okay. So, yeah, because that's always what ends up happening. We end, but not end. So don't forget, you can check us out most Mondays, somewhere around 11:30 to 12:30. And of course, you can catch us on any of the podcast channels where you consume podcasts. You got anything to add?
Check
No.
us out on obviously all the podcast channels, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. So wherever. YouTube,
Wherever you do.
YouTube, Facebook.
All right, everybody. I'm Emily King
I'm Richie King.
and Harrison King back there behind the ones and twos. And we will see you next time on Five Boys in a Business.
We're out.
Have a good week.